These ain't glorified gang or prison stories, man. These is lived experiences. Welcome back to the Swine Glow Podcast Show. Do Rock Creep. It's an absolute pleasure to be back here at this round table amongst my round table family. Salute to all of y'all out there that's able to catch this live while we are live. And most definitely salute to all my round table family that's able to catch up to this a little bit later, man. I understand people got things to do. Hey, prioritize as you may. Get to it when you can. You feel me? Now, look. Before I jump into what I'm going to jump into, please allow me this opportunity now to ask, if you haven't already did it, to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Spine Glow Podcast Show. Hitting the subscription button is not going to charge you anything. I promise you that it's free. All it does is make you an official family member here at this round table by hitting the subscription button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button as well. You feel me? All that matter, all that goes into getting us further into the algorithm. And I encourage participation. If you feel the need to jump into our chat, which is our round table, you feel me, and join the conversation, or if you have something, an opinion about something, hey, put it in the chat, man. We engage here. Again, I always encourage participation, you know what I'm saying? And I just ask that everybody keep things respectful amongst each other, because again, we are all family members at this round table. You feel me? Now look, make sure y'all hit the notification bell as well, so when we do these lives, or I just so happen to drop a random video, it would notify y'all immediately. You won't miss a beat on nothing. You'll be right there front and center for everything. All right, now look, man, let me get into what I came here to get into, and then I'm gonna hand it over to my round table family. Right? Okay, now these situations happen in the years of, I'm gonna say 2012 and 2013, right? This when I was in the prison, SATF, New Corcoran State Prison, right, on the Sea Yard, right? Bam. Now at this particular time, right, I'm doing a lot on the yard as far as grinding wise go, right? As far as hustling. And I was fortunate and blessed enough to be able to come into a couple of situations where I was able to invest some money and to make some money, right? So bam, I made a number of these different little investments, you know what I'm saying? And bam, so I was trying to move right, because before I had started doing what I was doing, it was others there that was with me. You know what I'm saying? That I seen doing it on such big scales when it came to hustling and grinding, to the point where it got so crazy for these dudes, right? That they start having police from the streets run in on them, right? I'm talking about with like 20 something drug sniffing dogs and phone sniffing dogs and all this, right? No BS, right? This is all facts. So I'm seeing this happen to these other guys, and I'm peeping out their mistakes. So I'm just, documenting all this down in my head, like, okay, I know I can't move like this, because this got them this moving like that. I'm not gonna move like that. Definitely not gonna move like these dudes over here, because I see how hot it was. Just a number of things that was transpiring in that environment at that time, where you had different dudes doing their thing, and they was getting plucked off one by one. You feel me? Now at this time, when in the beginning of me doing what I was doing, I'm in the cell with the homie Taco. Like I told y'all, Taco was from 190 East Coast Crib, right? And me and him was so focused on the grind, right? Like from the get go of him getting to the prison at that time, me and him immediately like like was cool with each other, because we both had like the same similar focus as far as just grinding and getting what we could while we could, and You know what I'm saying? So we just dove in on doing a number of different things, right? So anyway, with that came also discipline. You know what I mean? And not trying to be out there to the point of you having people that become grow envious of you because you're doing more than the next person, or you got more than the next person, or any of that. Because trust and believe, dudes would definitely get in their feelings if they feel like, you know what I'm saying, less than. So bam. And this could be anybody from any race. I'm not just saying just one particular people. I'm talking about this can come from this level of envy and jealousy can come from anybody, any race, at any given time, right? So I practice more so on just paying attention to the environment, you know, paying attention to the people that was around me in that environment, paying attention to how people was getting down, how they was moving, who was dealing with who, right? So I just start start just moving real low key. Although I was accessible to everybody in the environment. Right now, my thing at this time was this: it's my security overall, meaning whatever I had going on at that time, right, meant more to me. It meant more to me to have the longest existence in what I was doing at that time than anybody else that I was seeing getting plucked off, right? So like I said, my security was top tier, A1 priority first, right? Bam. So what made what I was doing a lot more easier was I worked inside my building. I was the person that passed out the food, that cleaned up the building, that'll run stuff around for the other dudes that's in there with me and shit, right? Bam. So being that I had that job and I was able to maneuver around the whole entire building, mind you, a level 4 general population 180 mainline building, right? In on the 180 yards is that's top notch security. And the buildings is sectioned off by pods, right? You got A pod, B pod, and C pod, right? And they're sectioned off. Like the only way you would be able to get from one pod to the next is either they got these side doors, because it's the pods are sectioned off with walls. So they got these side doors, one door, upstairs and downstairs. Now, if the police in the tower pop one of those doors open, then that's the only way you will be able to get through there. Other than that, you have to go out through the front of the day room, the entrance leading from the day room out to the rotunda, either going to one of the other pods or out to the yard. You know what I'm saying? So bam. Anyway, so everything is sectioned off. So anyway, I was able to get to all the pods. So I had access to everybody, and everybody had access to me, right? So I got to meet a lot of people. Now, being that I was out the majority of the day and everybody knew me, people wanted me to, take stuff to different people for them and shit, right? Now, my thing was this. Now, at this time, I had a phone. I had a cell phone, right? So my thing was the best way that I can disguise that I don't have a phone, right? I didn't want people in my business like that. So the best way that I knew to disguise that was anybody. I had to put this stipulation on everybody in order for this to work, right? Look, if you want me to transport something for you, I don't have a problem with doing it. But if it's something that can get me a write up, if I get caught with it, right, then this is the terms and conditions that I would transport this hot item for you from point A to point C, right? So, bam, I would tell everybody this, right? And making it very clear, like if it's a phone, I want phone time. They'd be like, "You want phone time?" Like, yeah. How much? How much phone time? At least 3 hours. So some people would be like, "Oh, all right, bam, all right, cool. Just we arrange a day, bam." So now in this person's mind and the people that he deal with, I don't Creek don't have a phone because he basically is charging me to move this from one place to the other by asking for the phone time. So bam, with him and all his people, they are under the impression I don't have a phone, but I did. Right? So bam, that's one person I got locked in. Then whoever else, same thing. No matter who it was, Crip, Blood, Southsider, or North Daniel, it didn't matter. Right? So bam, I had to do it like that in order for this to work. This is how in the cut I like to be. Right? So if all these people is in agreement with it, then they gonna all be under the impression like, bam, okay, he don't. And then let's just say I'm inside my cell, I'm off from work, and you have people that would definitely slide by your cell and be peeking in your cell. I'm talking about inmates, different ones, right? That come in, peeking in your cell. Hey, you all right? Acting like they checking up on you, but really they're checking to see, what they can see. And if by chance, you know what I'm saying, they come to your cell and they see you, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna say on their phone, right? Bam. Now they know you got that. So that's a ace in their deck. So if they need to tell any information about you, that's definitely gonna be one, right? Now, I say all that to say this. So I'm doing this with everybody. So bam, I remember the Southsiders, right? The Southsiders get at me one day, right? Now, like I've told y'all in the other video, right? Like how the Southsiders is structured and how they get down, right? Like they have different guys assigned to each building, like as the head person of that building, right? And those people that it are assigned to those positions hold a lot of power, right? In they are assigned to that building. So anyway, um, by me being there for as long as I did, and like I said, having a job that I did, I got to meet a lot of people, and I ended up dealing with these two Southsiders who was brothers, right? I'm not gonna say their name, but it was Big Whoop, Whoopty Whoop, and Lil Whoopty Whoop, right? Southsiders. Now these two Southsiders, um um they was Central California Southsiders, like out of like Visalia somewhere, right? And they was from up that way, right? But you know what I'm saying? Ranked up, apparently. You know what I'm saying? So bam, look. So I had to meet the two brothers, right? And they was cool. The older brother was the one. You know what I'm saying? Then you can tell that the younger brother was always impressed by his big brother, right? Always looked up to him. He's named right up under him, right? Looked like him. He tried to act like as much as his big brother as possible, right? It was a trip, but these dudes was very respectful. You know what I'm saying? Very extremely respectful, man. But they had they push. So bam. Now the older brother rise in rank. The older brother rise in rank to the point where he got the building now. Right? So now things change. Like everything go through them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's how I was always up on a lot of stuff too, because of the relationship that I was able to establish with these dudes, right? So anyway, bam. Now, now, the older one want to get a position, they homeboy in a position to come out and work me, because what ended up happening was the one that got the power that start running the building, right? The big brother, he got at me one day. He was like, "Hey man," he said, can you take this to this cell, right? He wanted me to take that phone. So I'm like, "Oh," I said, "Hey man," I said, "Look, now this is the guy that got that building, right?" I said, "Look, bro, I can't not do this to nobody, especially him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to get the same thing. If I flip the script now, like I'm gonna fail, the test is failed. So everybody got to get the same treatment." So I tell him what the conditions is. He like, "Oh man," he said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, right. Phone time, or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to transport nothing that if I get caught with, I get the write up and this and that and wham, right?" So he like, "I understand, man." So he like, "Hey, look." So he tell me to go get his homeboy, the one that they had been campaigning to get out to work with me, who they ended up starting letting out. Go, "Hey, can you go get him real quick?" I said, "All right." So bam, I go tell bro, "Hey," I said, "Hey, big whoop de whoop want you." He like, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." Right. He like, "Fuck, man." He like, "All right." So bam, I go off and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So bam. So time go by. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I remember the older brother. He like, "Hey," he said, "Hey, send Whoopty Wham over here." Right? He's telling me to send his young homie to a cell. I'm like, "All right." So when I go over there and I tell him, I'm like, "Hey, you know, big Whoopty Wham said come over there." He's like, "Man, fuck that shit," right? So I was like, "Huh?" He was like, "Man, fuck that shit, man." He like, "I'm getting tired of this shit," right? Now, this was the thing. This was the thing. This was the issue. The issue was being that I had told everybody in the building, including the Southsiders, right? This is how this is what I'm doing, right? It was a few of them that went for it that I dealt with, a few Southsiders, right? They didn't have a problem. All right, cool. So I was constantly having phone time with all these people, but I would get the phone and give it to my cellie, right? Shout out to the homie Bull Rock. My young homie Bull Rock was in the cell with me, man. You know what I mean? At this time. So shit, I get the phone and give it to him. He'll be over here in the cell on in one part of the cell on that phone. I'll be over here on this side of the cell on my phone. You feel me? Until them hours was up, and then I go back out, take the phone back to him, and you know that's what it was. But it had to be like that because at this time, during this time, I had a lot going on. You feel me? And it was a lot going on. There was a lot of people getting crushed left and right, especially the ones that called themselves hustling and grinding and shit, right? So I had to, my push had to be my push. So bam, by me applying that type of pressure, the older brother, he was like, "Nah, our people gonna have to have a position out there, and they gonna have to be moving this stuff around." You know what I'm saying? For the ones that don't want to do that, I'm like, "That's cool. I don't have a problem with it." And that's what they did. So they get this dude out there, and that's pressure, because now whenever any of them want that shit moved around, he got to stop doing whatever and make his way and transport this shit all day, right? So that responsibility becomes great when you're doing that shit all day. This is his responsibility, being that if you trying to go around me, that's what you gonna have to. And that shit got overwhelming for the young Southsider that they had pulled out there, right? So when I tell him, I'm like, hey, Big Whoopty will want you to come over there. He went crazy. He was like, man, fuck that shit, man. I'm getting tired of this shit. Right? And whoopty whoopty wham, right? So I'm like, huh? I'm like, for real? He's like, hell yeah, right? He's like, fuck that shit, right? And he went inside his cell and locked the door. He walked inside the cell and closed the door behind him and locked that motherfucker, right? I'm standing there looking, I'm like, wow. So bam. Now, now when he do that, I'm already knowing. I'm like, he in trouble, right? I don't think he was a young dude. He had to be probably like 23, 24 years old at that time, right? He was a young dude. You feel me? So I don't think he realized, or it could have been the drugs because he did used to do like a lot of drugs. That was another thing. Like when you have that job position, you have access to everybody, anybody that is doing anything. So if you had the habit like he had and indulged in that shit heavily like he did, then you gonna always be out of it, and you are out there for hours working hours. You feel me? You start from 6 in the morning until like 3:30 in the afternoon. You feel me? So uh uh it caught up to him. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up doing that. Locked himself inside the cell. I'm standing there tripping like he don't realize what he just did. So bam, I leave, right? So I end up making my way back over to the section where the shot caller is at, right? The big brother. So bam, he called me up to his cell, right? Hey, creeps, hey, check it out. Right? So bam, I go up to his cell and he like, hey, he like, excuse me, bro. He said, did you deliver that message I asked you to deliver for me? I said, yeah. He like, oh, okay. He like, Spencer. I'm like, no, it's all good. So he like, where he at, right? So I'm like, man, I said, I don't want to get in it, bro. He like, nah, fool. He like, for real, fool. He like, nah, no. He like, you not getting in nothing. He like, where he at? Right? I said, he went in the cell. He was like, fuck. He said, no, right? I said, for real, fool, right? So he like, so you see his whole facial expression change, right? Like he was already like the type of essay, like he was like a fair complex essay, right? So when you see all the color just leave a motherfucker and that shit just turn just instant, just dark red, right? Right? I'm talking about it. He was hot. He said, hey, Holmes, hey, Spencer, right? He said, can you give me like 5 minutes? He said, I'm finna hook up a wheeler for that fool, right? Just like, please, creeps, please, right? I'm like, nah, no problem, man. I said, I got you. I said, take your time. He said, thank you, right? So bam, he hot, right? So bam, he go, I'm already knowing the youngster in trouble. Your job, your duty and responsibility was to be, you have to be ready when your homeboys need you. There's no going in and locking it up, saying F that. Your responsibility is to be out there working for them. And this is what they expect of you. Because for one, they the ones that went to bat and got you out there for this specific reason, right? So for you to turn around and say F that, hey, look, the Southsiders don't play that. No disrespect to them by me running this story or none of that. This is actually me giving them props because they stand on what they stand on. Point blank, period. Shout out to all the real Southsiders, bro, right? So look, I already know. I'm like, this dude, he in trouble. He young. I don't think it registered to him. And again, induced off the drugs that he was indulging in, that black tar heroin, as much as he was indulging, right? He did that like how I used to smoke weed back then. I had a lot of weed back then, right? How we used to smoke weed back then. That's how this dude did black tar heroin, right? All day, every day, he was able to stay high because he had access to everybody that had access to that shit. So anyway, I believe he just got in over his head, right? As far as indulging in that, and then and then, being overwhelmed by having that responsibility of moving all these phones around without getting caught with them, and making sure it has to get there from point A to point Z when it's supposed to. You just go back. You got the responsibility of picking it back up when that time is up and taking it back over here. You know what I'm saying? And then on to the next one, and then on to the next one, and then on to the next one, and like clockwork, all day until your shift is up, right? And this dude, when he was like, man, fuck that. I'm tired of this shit. Fuck that. And went in the cell and locked the door behind him. I knew I was like, he's done. Right? So bam. Like I said, once he do that, bam. So the big brother, he write the kite. He write the wheeler. Right? Write the wheeler. For those of y'all that don't know wheeler, what wheeler mean, that means a kite, a short note in prison. You know what I'm saying? Something that's written down on a piece of paper, folded up, taped up, and all that. You know what I'm saying? With the destination where it's supposed to go from point A to point B. So it's like you flying a kite out to that person and it's landed to him. Right? So anyway, bam. He finished right there. Hey, thank you, man. Spencer again, fool. I'm like, it's all good, bro. I take that kite. Take that kite over to the youngster, right? Bam, give it to him. I leave, right? Probably like 30 minutes later, I end up making it back over to that pod. Now the youngster out the cell. He's like, hey, fool. Hey. He said, they're gonna kill me, fool. They're gonna kill me, right? I'm like, huh? But the look he had in his eyes at this time, mind you, this is 23, 24-year-old, right? Been high out his mind off this black tar heroin, right? The look he had in his eyes is a mixture of that. It's a mixture of a fear like I had never seen before in my life. Right? This shit ain't, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny back then. Right? So, but look, he like, they gonna try to kill me, fool. He said, what they tell you? So I'm like, huh? He like, what they tell you? What they tell you, right? He said, they gonna try to kill me. He said, what they tell you? I said, they ain't tell me nothing. Right? I'm like, what you talking about? He like, no, fool. He said, man, hey. He said, they gonna try to kill me. He said, they didn't tell you nothing. I said, no. I said, listen. I said, why would your homeboys tell me anything? Why would they tell me any of y'all politics? That don't have nothing to do with me, right? But while I'm standing there talking to him, I'm looking at his eyes, and it's like a deer in the headlights. Again, drug induced off of black tar heroin mixed with the coldest fear. Deer in the headlights like I have never seen before, right? While he's talking, like his lip, only the upper one is shaking while he talking, right? And then he's sweating up under his eyes and shit. And then, like, although his eyes was bugged, you can tell he was high, right? But you can tell behind that high, like, that fear was fucking his high up, right? So now Now at this time it's just me and him out there in the day room. Now I done already told y'all the story about the other guy that tried to stab me that was high up for 4 days off of crystal meth. Tried to stab me. Boy, we went to war in that day room for no reason. I had nothing to do with nothing. But he definitely was high out of his mind. So when this essay, when he's in this situation right here, I see that same kind of look in his eyes. So while he talking, I'm like, this fool better not try to do no PC shit, right? Bam, I knife out. I'm gonna have to hack him up, right? We was cool up until that situation happened, and now he paranoid, right? To the point where he's coming to me, asking me what his homeboys told you. You know, y'all don't get down like that. What you talking about? And then how he acting, and then it's just like the whole little thing, right? So once I pulled my knife out, I said, hey, I said, look, I said, go holler at your homies. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, but you acting funny, right? I said, as a matter of fact, don't even come talking to me more, right? For the rest of the night. No, 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 homie, it ain't. I said, no, just go. Right? So he like Pete. So he leave, right? So bam. Once he leave, I go into a different pod. So the pod that I'm in, I can see I'm in C pod. For anybody that's been in prison before, hopefully you haven't been, but for anybody that's been in prison before on a level 4 180 design prison, right? If you go inside of a building and you go into C section, you can typically see all the way down the hallway over to A section's door. So that hallway is where you can exit out of the building. That hallway is what they call the rotunda, right? That's like a hallway that leads to A section, B section, or to the C section. So I'm in C section where I can see in that hallway, right? So while I'm in C section, I see the young Mexican dude, right? The South Sider, come out of the section that he was in, and he's standing right there in that hallway. And then the CO come out, and they standing there talking, right? He's standing there talking to the CO, to the police, right? And then next thing you know, he turned around and put his hands up, and the CO starts searching him and go straight to his his shirt pocket, pull out a kite, a wheeler, right? Pull that out, look at it, bam, put it in his pocket. The police put it inside his own pocket, bam, handcuff this dude up and walk him out the building, right? I'm like, oh, so I go make sure that my situation is right first and foremost, right? Then I go around to the whole building and tell everybody, I tell everybody what I had just seen, right? Including the Southsiders, right? So the big brother, he like, for real? I'm like, yeah. He like, fuck. He like, all right, good looking, right? So everybody is on point. The only twist to that is this. That kite that police pulled out of the young Southsider's pocket consisted of information that he knew that he was able to obtain while working out there with me on all the blacks. Right? I swear to God, true story. So bam. It wasn't that night, but it was definitely that next morning, right? Where the police ran up in there early that morning, right? Crashed the whole building, right? Well, not the whole building, but the blacks that had anything going on or anything that he thought that he knew that they had going on, that's who he told on. Now, my thing was this, right? When that situation happened, because these dudes do that type of shit. And like I said, he was like 23, 24 years old. A lot of them do that type of shit and making no excuses for anybody. But it was You know what I'm saying? Like mind-boggling in the beginning of seeing this type of shit happen, right? But like, damn, maybe he's doing this with the thought process in his head, like, okay, if I snitch on these dudes and not my own people, I would be able to go to the next place and exist and start over again. You feel me? And what I can say is this. You know what I'm saying? I do know for a fact if any of them dudes have smut on their name or any of that shit, even trying to pull something like that, right? From what I've seen, right? A lot of them get handled. You feel me? Straight up, a lot of them do get handled, bro. You feel me? Or and in all honesty, you got this type of shit on all sides. Motherfuckers will come out and try to start a riot, do some bullshit. You feel me? You do got kamikaze type motherfuckers like that as well. And I've described to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Uh how the one black dude, you know what I'm saying? When I was in High Desert State Prison, walked right by all us. And this was a dude that stayed like a couple of cells down from me that I dealt with every day, an older dude at that, older black dude. Walked by all of us, walked right over into a circle of North Daniels and socked the head one out. And they start packing him out, right? Kicked off the ride that way between the blacks and the North Daniels. So you do have kamikaze type dudes that would do some shit like that just to do it and get off the yard. I remember being in the hole one time and it was this Bay Area dude, right? Right? Cold dude. But he lived in his truth. Him telling me like, yeah, man, he like, you know, I know it's fucked up, but he like, you know, I used to get into debt so much fucking with that black tar heroin to the point where, you feel me, I just go out to the yard and fire on the Mexican, kick off a ride like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? You do what? Like, yeah, man. He like, anytime I get too far up in debt, you know what I'm saying? He like, shit, that's the best way to get out of it. I'm like, that's nasty work, right? But again, this is a guy that lived in his truth. But in a lot of the times, when you doing that type of shit, that travels. So that shit ended up catching up to him. Trust and believe that he didn't just do that and nothing didn't happen to him. You feel me? That shit catches up to you. And when it catch up to you, man, you finna get done bad. You got that type of history of trying to pull that bullshit. I told y'all the situation about the young guy from Fresno, the young Crip, right? That tried to run up the debt, sprung out on the black tar heroin, sprung out. His own so-called big homie, who was only like 2 years older than him, got him, pulled him in the cell with him and got the young dude sprung out. He was like 23 years old. Right? Didn't have nothing, nobody, didn't have a pot to piss in. However, he developed this nasty drug habit because he was weak enough to allow another man to turn him out on that drug, a drug that he couldn't afford. Right? And he got so nasty, you feel me, nastily involved in that drug to the point where he was just going around getting it from everybody, right? Sometime he'd do it and use his homeboy's credit card, and his credit card, his homeboy would find out, you know what I'm saying, and he's scrambling around trying to figure out different ways to pay that debt his young homie done got him in. Yeah, they'd do the drug together, right? But this is how they was getting down. But then his big homie ended up leaving. Something ended up happening with that dude, right? But once he was no longer there to pay them debts, he still had that habit. And this was a young dude that I dealt with almost every day. He was with me a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I can't tell another man how to function and what not to indulge in. If you grown, you making them decisions on your own to indulge in that shit. I can only advise you. I used to sit him down and advise him every day, all the time, bro. Listen, you fucking up. You too young to be running around sprung out on this. This is the same shit I'm preaching to these dudes every day. However, he wasn't just the only one that was there doing that. It was a whole bunch of them, young dudes, 19, 20, 21, 22, sprung out like I have never seen on crystal meth and black tar heroin. More on black tar heroin than anything. This was tripping me out. Young Crips, young Bloods, young Bay Areas, you know what I'm saying? Young essays, you name it. These dudes are sprung out, and they not shy about it. They not hiding it. It was a number of them telling me, man, I use everything. Like, huh? Like, yeah, I use everything. You use every drug. And you see all of them messing with each other and in the same circles. Then you see them passing these bottles around where they are constantly snorting this shit out the bottle and sniffing constantly. Right? And I used to trip on that shit like, this is wild. So when this youngster developed that habit, this is the same guy I told y'all about, also the story about, like I said, he had got scandalous. He stole the top ramen out of his big homeboy cell. I told y'all that story. I'm going to give y'all a small run through on it, just as a reminder, because it was a good story, by the way. But he asked his big homie, right? His big homie was a guy that I was in High Desert State Prison with, that I knew that was militant to the point of he didn't have a problem with using a weapon on you if it came to that, right? I knew this about him, right? So bam, we was familiar with each other, me and this guy. So when he got to that prison under a whole different name, for one. So by the time I realized who they was talking about, I'm seeing him, right? And they saying this different name. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that ain't the name I know him by. Like, I know this dude. So when he see me, he like, what's up, man? So bam, he pulled me to the side. And that's when he let me know, like, yeah, I changed my name and this and that and whoop-de-wham, right? So I'm like, oh, all right. So I knew him by a whole different name. And he changed his name for whatever reason. So anyway, the young dude asked him for some top ramen. Imagine that, top ramen, people. Top ramen, right? So the older one, like, yeah, I'll give you some when I come back. He was going out to the yard when the young one asked him, yeah, I'll give you some when I come back. So bam. So when the older one go out to the yard, the young one go inside the old one's cell and come out with a handful of top ramen. Take the top ramen in his cell. He laughing, he and ha-ha and all that shit, right? So bam. Now, the yard is coming back in, the older one coming back in. So me and the young one sitting at the table together, right? So he tell the old one, he like, hey, he like, yeah, don't even trip. I went in there and got that. Right? So the old one was like, he was like, what? He like, don't trip. I went in there and got that. He like, them soup. I went in your cell and got that. So the old one like, you went in my cell and you got some top ramen out my cell? So the young one like, yeah, he, right? So the old one look at me. The way he looked at me, I already knew what was gonna happen. It's not my business to speak on business that don't pertain to me, though. You feel me? Especially when it's two guys that's from the same hood. This ain't got nothing to do with me. This is big homie versus little homie. This is little homie versus big homie from the same hood. Right? But when the older one looked at me the way that he did, I'm like, damn. The young one not peeping. Right? Yeah, the old one like, all right, he going to sell, right? Bam. Later on that day, he called me to his cell, the older one. Hey man, here, hand my CDs back to me. Right? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, nah, I ain't tripping, bro. I had just gave them to him. He like, nah, you might want to take your CDs. And the way he said it and was looking at me, that just put the icing on the cake. I know he finna get cracking, right? So bam. I'm like, all right, grab the CDs, bam. So shit. That next morning, me and the young one, we out working, bam. So when they let out everybody else for the yard, right, in the pod, usually me and the young one sit down in the day room at one of the tables, right? So bam, that's what we do this particular day. So we sitting at the tables and they start letting out everybody for the yard in that section we in. So the old one come out, right? So when he come out the cell, this fool got the jean jacket on, right? You don't wear the jeans. It's too hot. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody wearing these jean jackets, right? Bam. That's clue number one. Secondly, when he come out, it's all business. You feel me? He holding these magazines in his hand. So while he's walking out, he's walking down the tier. The young one sitting at the table with me, he immediately start playing with the old one. He start calling him Big Onion, Big Onion. Now he's calling this dude this because he said that the old one was always musty and shit, right? He start calling him Big Onion, right? Playing with this man. So, mind you, him and his so-called big homie that he was in the cell with, neither one of these dudes know the old one, the older one. They don't know him, right? I know him. I know well enough to know this, that that he was going to handle business and they wasn't ready for that level of business that he was going to bring, right? I swear to God. King Grover said Big Onion. Big Onion, that's what he called me, right? Look, we sitting at the table, King Grove. I'm sitting right here. The young one from Fresno Crib, right? He's sitting right next to me at the same table, right? I'm sitting with my back to the table, right? He's sitting at the same table right next to me, facing the same way. So when the old one come out, he's walking like basically right in front of us. He's walking right past us, right? Now, what's going on here is this. Now, while the young one is playing, he laughing and he ha ha and calling bro Big Onion, Big Onion, what's up, Big Onion? While bro walking, mind you, the old one all business. So he's walking with these magazines in his hand. He this is cold how he played him and rocked him to sleep, right? He's walking and he walked past us and he goes to the young one's cell. And he had the magazines right there. So he slid the magazines that he had up under the young one that's sitting next to me, up under his cell door. Right? So as he's coming up, he's reaching inside the sleeve of his jacket. Right? As he's coming up, he's pulling this big ass knife out the sleeve of his jacket. So he spin around, and as he spin around, he's trying to conceal the knife, right? And walking straight towards me and the young one. I'm watching the whole shit, right? I'm looking, I'm like, oh, look at this shit, right? Bam. The whole time the young one's sitting there, he still he ha ha, Big Onion, Big Onion. He not peeping nothing, right? And as soon as the old one got up on where me and the young one was sitting at, right? Out came that big ass knife, and the first blow, right? Straight to the temple. Bow! Right? Straight to the temple, bro. Right? I'm sitting there looking like, what the fuck? He's sitting right next to me, straight to the temple, right? So bam, That first one flipped him out the, mind you, we sitting at the same table. He's sitting right next to me, right? But the way he's sitting, we sitting facing this way. We sitting facing this way, right? He's sitting with his legs at an angle. So when he got hit, he flipped backwards. He was able to flip backwards out that seat onto the floor. Now, what's behind us is like the TV area and shit, right? So bam, that's where he flipped, right? Now, just so happened, right behind us is the police. The police stand right there in that little area and search everybody that's going out to the yard. You feel me? So when this incident take place, the police is right behind us. So when he hit bro, bow, right in his temple, that fool flipped out that seat, right onto the floor, and the old one jumped on top of him, and he just stabbing him, bow, 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 right? Right? Stabbing him over and over and over and over, right? So I'm sitting there looking at all this shit like, this is crazy. This is crazy as fuck, right? This is happening right here live in front of me. Now the police standing there, they looking like, what the fuck? Is this really happening? Then finally, they response kick in, and that's when all the pepper spray and the billy clubs come out, right? They pepper spraying and they beating the shit out of, they got their batons out. Now they beating the older one with the batons, trying to get him to stop stabbing the young one, right? Right? Now, once the pepper spray and all this shit come out, I'm out the way. I move away from that table, way to the other side of the day room, right? But I'm still watching everything going on. So bam. So now they beating the older one with the batons, trying to get him to stop. So bam. He on top of the young one, just jigging him up. Bow, bow. He getting him good, right? But the pepper spray now, the pepper spray is affecting the shots, of course, you know what I mean? And you're only going to be able to get so many good stabs in with a knife before it eventually start to bend, right? So anyway, now that they doing the pepper spray and they beating him with the batons, now he got his man. So now he's trying to position himself up under the tables right where we were sitting at, because there's towels and stuff up under there. So he's trying to get up under that table and tuck the knife, in which he was successful in doing, right? So now, while he's doing that, the younger one is trying to do whatever he can to try to do whatever, but there's so much pepper spray and all that shit, it's not too much he can do other than the police start beating him with the batons, right? Now this man already got stabbed the fuck up bad, all in his head, all in his neck, right? All in his chest, all in this. This is big homie doing this to little homie over some top ramen. Hey, look, listen, you don't steal. But the way that the older one, look, come on, man. This dude was militant, like I said, like being in High Desert State Prison at that time when he was there with me. You become that environment. That environment was harsh. That environment was real. That environment was dangerous. You talking about politics and people getting whooped off yards left and right and stabbed left and right. That was that environment, right? So bam. King Grover said top ramen. Hey, man, shout out to my roundtable family first and foremost. I'm gonna get right back to this story, man. Let me address my roundtable family. Miss Golden, my beautiful woman, salute to you. I send my love as always. You beautiful woman, thank you for everything. All love and respect due to you. King Grover, my brother, my brethren, shout out to you. Glad you was able to make the live, Brody. Salute to you, Grove. Jake Brown, my brethren. What's up with you, big bro? I send my love and respect to you as well, Brody. You feel me? Jason B, that's little bro in the that's little buddy in the back. You feel me? That's little buddy in the back, man. Go beat it somewhere. Charles Stepney, my big bro, Lil Drax, salute, man. I send my love and respect to you as always. Glad you was able to make the live, Brody. Dirty D, what up, Brody? Salute, salute. Send my love and respect to you. Glad you was able to make the live as well. Arturo De Leon. I don't know what you saying there. Jackson Daryl, salute, salute, Brody. He's saying doing drugs is bad, but doing drugs in prison is some sucker shit. It absolutely is. Especially if you're doing them drugs and you're not able to pay for them. But watch. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. Jackson Daryl said escaping pain. Well, they think they're escaping pain by doing all that shit. You don't escape it, because when that high come down, you still in the realities of being in the confinements of a prison cell, in which I call the concrete coffin. Damu Robin, salute, my brethren. Glad you was able to make the live. You know I send my love and respect to you, Brody. You and the fam as well. All love, all respect as always. Jose Perez says, what's up, DeWardy? What's up with you, Brody? Salute. Glad you was able to make the live, brethren. Damu Robin said most ain't ready for that level of activities. Hey, Damu Robbins, you know that, right? And when they are introduced to that level of activities, like this youngster was with the OG, right? See, this was the thing. Being that they didn't know him, he had changed his name for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know what bro had going on, but what I did know is this. He came there with an agenda. He was locked in on those dudes from Fresno, right? He was locked in on them. And whatever was going on there, whatever the issues was, he wasn't playing. He wasn't trusting them. None of that. I told y'all, about this story, but one time us sitting in the day room, and that young one, the same one he ended up stabbing up, right? We sitting there, me and him sitting side by side watching the TV, and the young one snuck up behind him and grabbed him, right? And bro must have shook up out that shit so quick and so swift to where he he leaped over the bench that we were sitting on, right? And was finna down, bro, right then and there, right? Went into straight warrior mode, but the youngster laughing, right? He like, man, don't play with me like that, bro. What's wrong with you? Don't ever sneak up on me playing with. Don't grab me. Don't touch me. Don't do none of that. What's wrong with you, bro? We don't play like that, right? Like he was on that with them. He was tripping. You feel me? So, and you got to remember, he also was looking at it like this. When bro went in there and took them soups out of his cell, he looking at it like, damn, if you got the power to have the police open up my cell and let you go in there and take some top ramen out my cell, right? They would definitely open up that door and allow you to come in there and try to take my life. You are automatic threat, and I'm finna eliminate that threat immediately. That's the way that bro was looking at that situation when the young woman in there took them soups. Straight up. Pro Box said Landover, Maryland. I did 4 months in LA County Jail. Oh my God. Dorm 333, Brim Dorm. I did content on it. Shout out to Cali. Let me know when you ready for an interview. Salute to you, Brody. Pro Boxer, salute to you, Brody. Hey, we can lock that in whenever. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with you. For real. I fucks with you. Again, salute to you, Pro Boxer, the Cuban assassin, my brethren. You feel me? King Grover said, yeah, the young homies be some annoying sometimes. I definitely done had to whoop on a young homie or two. Yeah, man. Hey, man. Um, it's crazy when you have to do something like that, right? And you know, uh, I don't take pleasure in doing it, but at the same time, what has to be done has to be done. If you violate, then the repercussions is definitely going to be met with harsh and strict penalty as it should, especially if you're doing a violation to the point of jeopardizing not just your life and your safety, but the people that's around you that have that connection to you as well. You will be held accountable for all of that strictly. You feel me? Pro Boxer said, I've been watching you for a while. I'm going to help your channel grow. I'm on the East Coast. Hey, I appreciate that, Pro Boxer. The Cuban assassin, man, shout out to you. Shout out to the East Coast, Brody. You feel me? Hey, we locked in, we connected. You know what I'm saying? So anything to that helps, hey, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And that don't do nothing but lock us in even more. You feel me? So shout out to you and any contribution that you make, Brody. Damu Robbins said, remember we had to knock one of our homies down in New Folsom because of that exact same thing. Yup. Young nigga with playing with a G, asked me for a thing and didn't use. Yup. Used it after he disrespected the OG. We whacked him. Yup. I remember that. I remember that Damu like a motherfucker. Hey, that's what people be failing to realize, bro. There's real rules. I hate to keep acknowledging the same weak, sorry pieces of crap, right? Right? However, you do have those that try to push the narrative that the Crips and the Bloods, the blacks period in prisons, don't stand on rules. We don't check paperwork. We give people passes and all this weak shit, right? You have people that push that narrative, right? Just like how you have those that also, hold on, I'm still here, that also push the narrative of of some Hispanics having the green light to be able to tell on blacks, right? You have those same narratives that's out there afloat, right? Now, whether any of those narratives would be true or not, that you would have to be a part of either one of those organizations to really know the true answers to these things, right? Other than that, this shit is just you know, I call it race baiting, right? Top tier race baiting, right? To get a certain demographic to fall behind your bullshit rhetoric, right? Knowing that none of this shit is true, right? And I would go as far as to any of the people that push those false narratives on any ethnicity group, prove it. Prove it. That's it. That's all. Other than that, the bullshit that y'all putting out there is fake and as false as can be. Point blank. Period. Because we do check paperwork. Hey, we do put in work when need be. You feel me? Point blank. Period. You know what I'm saying? It's people that's here, right? Or people that may attend this roundtable that has been in different prisons with me that can definitely attest to the same exact identical ideologies of the rules, regulations, and guidelines of a person that's on a level 4 general population yard, which I am, by the way. Unfortunately, not glamorizing jail or prison or none of that shit. The ideal is to keep y'all out this shit. Because once you in it, You in it. You feel me? Point blank, period. A lot of people find themselves in jams. Just like the story I was telling y'all about the young Southsider, right? Which I'm going to get back to in a second. You feel me? King Grover said, I don't feel like I'm that old. I just turned 50 and been locked on since YA. So I'm in great shape. Sometimes the young homies will make you beat their ass. LOL. Hey, that's real though, King Grover. Pro Boxer said, I got your IG too. I'ma send you a DM. Ah, yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, you know we locked in on that Pro Boxer. Hit me on IG. You know we locked in on there, Brody. Leo Leo B 0314 said, what's your favorite movie? Hey, that's a good question, right? Leo. I'm gonna have to say it's a couple of them, right? It's a couple of them, but it was a movie. I think the name of that movie was called The Cleaner, right? Where you had this female assassin that was trained to take people out, right? And she ended up getting put on the mission where she was supposed to take a dude out. I think she ended up falling for him or having some feelings for him, and they sent the other dude in, the guy that they called the cleaner, to take her out, as well as the dude that she had failed to take out. And they ended up going at it, and she ended up, you know. So that's one of my favorite ones right there. Pro Boxer said, "Talk your talk. I'm recording this and going to post it on my channel. 60,000 subscribers. I'm gonna send you a collaboration so everybody can follow your channel." Hey, I appreciate that, Pro Boxer, man. For real, for real. I appreciate that. That's love, Brody. Shout out to Pro Boxer, the Cuban Assassin, man. If bro got a channel on YouTube, definitely go follow that, man. Pro Boxer, the Cuban Assassin. If by chance y'all are not following him on Instagram, he's on Instagram under the same handle as well. Pro Boxer, the Cuban Assassin, man. Good people's right there. Salute to you, Brody. Thank you for everything. Damu Robbins said, I laugh at that shit, homie, because I lived it. There's always little myths. People trip when they find I did long as I did and tell them wasn't no homos on the lines I was on for years. That's shown up on. Hey, hey, Damu, hey, that's what I'm saying, right? Any and everything, you know, I can attest to it. You feel me? We've been on lines together, so you know I know. You feel me? Which is why I be telling these people all the time, right? There's absolutely no way that I can come on here on this platform, right, and tell no lies about nothing, no situations, no nothing. The rules, regulations, and guidelines. You feel me? And there's no way I can come on here and lie about none of that shit. When there's people like yourself that we've been on the line together, right? So these other people that's giving watered down versions of you know what the general population is and what the mentalities of the people that was or is on the general population level 4 mainline yards is, right? Well, we are here to attest to what those mentalities are, was, and is. You feel me? Past and present. However far they want to go back. You feel me? Straight up. Hell yeah, bro. You speak nothing but facts, Damo. You speak nothing but facts, Brody. Straight up. Damo Robbins said that King Grover, I just turned 50 and 50, still young from all the years in training behind them walls. Absolutely, man. Hey, being in your 50s and when you've trained for so many years, you know, to to not just be physically fit but mentally sharp and fit as well, right? By reading and studying, and you know what I'm saying, investing your mind in enriching things and wanting to learn, and even taking up different languages, and you know what I'm saying, and just bettering yourself as a man, bro, right? you know uh 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 during the times where they wasn't giving you TVs and all that shit in the hole, where you was doing whole time. You was looking at the Waltons being the walls. You feel me? And you reading books. You writing letters. You doing every single thing, and you working out. You doing every single thing you can to make them days come and go as fast as they possibly can. Mine was reading books. Shout out to Hoover Gumby, my brethren. Shout out to Hoover Gumby, right? Had every book that you can think of. You feel me? One of the smartest, brightest guys I know. You know what I'm saying? Doing a lot of those times, doing them shoe times, them months and months up on end, months in the holes and in the shoes and shit. Being able to go to bro, get all those books, to take my mind on those journeys, those different journeys, man, and take in all this information, and I loved it. I looked at it as food. You feel me? Even when we didn't have food, man, we back there surviving off of state lunches and shit. I told y'all, it was hard, but we was doing it. We out there, we surviving off of state food, peanut butter sandwiches and graham crackers and an apple. Stretching that shit all day and drinking a whole bunch of water and reading books. Before you know it, nighttime then came. It's time to lay it out and try it again the next day. Burpees, reading. You feel me? You hear other dudes playing chess with each other over the tier. They done made these little chess boards and shit out of toilet paper and shit. You know what I'm saying? They drew the whole chessboard and shit either out on their bunk or on their floor, where they can sit there at the door, one dude to be on this side of the building, and they yelling out the numbers, and they playing chess with each other, and dude way on the other side of the building, yelling out the number where he moving his pieces to, and that's how they playing chess with each other back and forth. That's doing whole time where you ain't got no TV, no radio, no other form of entertainment. And if you really lucky and you had the entertainment up in there to the point where you had people that had talent, that knew how to sing, you have singing hour. Hey man, sing whoop de whoop. You're saying we had a person that would sing any song. Any oldie, any R&B, right? And actually had chops to sing it, to the point where we kept on requesting them songs. That's how we passing time. Or people like me that knew how to rap. Rap hour, all right? When me and they're rocking out to raps and shit, people start knowing my raps. Hey, bust that one. You feel me? That was passing time. That was making the time go by. As well as sharpening the tools that one was going to need as the years came and went. That leads me to right now. People wonder and ask, like, how? You've been in prison almost 32 years straight. How has not all that time just crashed in on your head, man? How are you able to come and relate to people, and and you come in peace, and you're not disturbed to the point of you're preaching hatred and pushing hatred out to the community? How? That question is often asked. I credit all that back to the times where I was able to read them books and allow my mind to grow and strengthen and journey. You feel me? To be able to take in a wonderful, great Maya Angelou book, a great Asada Shakur book. You feel me? Any mind stimulating thing, bro, that that helped me, get through those days and nights. of being in that ASU shoe. That was the form of entertainment. That was the real form of entertainment, the best entertainment. You feel me? I'm me 504 said thank you, trying to save the youth. I hurt for people who become a product of their environment and find themselves in the system. I know a guy who served time and is out, but I don't see his gratitude. Hey, well, thank you. I'm me 504. I appreciate you for joining the live and coming to the round table. You feel me? And definitely jumping into the chat and contributing that great message. You feel me? We are definitely here, hopefully trying to inspire somebody, help somebody that may need the appropriate information on all this stuff. If not, just hear our perspectives on different things that they may have been questioning or wondering about. You feel me? Everybody ain't gonna be born with the necessary knowledge and information that, they might be inquiring about, wondering about, may be lacking or any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we here to do, to inform. We are not just here to educate, we are here to be educated as well. And we have great minded people that come here, and I'm thankful to be educated about a number of things, that I know helps me. Coming here helps me. You know what I'm saying? So when I bring these stories to y'all, trust and believe, man, it's to help, it's to encourage, and hopefully discourage people from ever ending up in places like this. For real, for real. Damu Robbins say that's why a lot of people avoid your realness. People don't want to be held accountable for their actions. They want the room to fuck up and go out backwards. That's absolutely true, Damu. You feel me? They make the excuses that I'm the piece of crap, that I'm the piece of shit, that I'm the mad bitter one on the level 4 yard that is out to destroy and hurt all our young homies, right? That don't want to see them get out, that only want them to come to these level 4 yards because we're mad and we're miserable, right? We want them to go and crash out if they got a year or two and come to the level 4s because all we do is politic and we mad and we angry. When I look at myself on this screen, you feel me? I don't just see a handsome reflection of myself. Of course, I do see that. However, not to toot my own horn, I don't just see that. I see a guy that comes humbly, that humbly stands his ground on who he is as a man. That's on a level 4, general population, mainline yard, right? That people was pushing false narratives upon, lying, a smear campaign, right? I guess in great hopes of impressing these young dudes by lying and encouraging them to go to these level 3s and 2s to these 50-50 yards, right? In great hopes of that allowing them to go home faster, right? And my thing is this: I'm gonna allow you. You can do what you want as a grown man or woman, but I'm gonna allow you the true knowledge that you're gonna need if you choose to make that decision. And I'm gonna allow you the true knowledge that you definitely gonna need if you choose to go this route to the main line, right? If you choose to go this route over here, hey, as a man, if that's what you choose to do, live with it, stand on it. But once you do that, don't go back over here acting like you never abandoned that. Period. Or you're gonna be called upon it. King Grover said, "Wait a minute, Damu, you a Crip, bro? Hell yeah, you a Crip. That's the homie from IE Neighborhood Drive Crip. King Grover, you what was throwing you off was his name, huh? Damu say when we was neighbors in Salinas Valley in the hole, that's when it was no TVs, nothing. Reading and exercise and telling war stories. Absolutely, Damu, you already know. Reading and that's it, and exercising. There was no TVs then. You feel me? All that shit was new. You feel me? And that was catering to niggas. That was definitely catering to niggas because we wasn't used to that. When I seen it, I was like, damn, they giving people TVs and radios and shit. They letting you have all this. They giving you damn near your whole cell in the hole. They was letting dudes wear sweats and all that in the hole. I was like, wow. You feel me? But back in the day, nah, it wasn't none of that. You wasn't finna shit. You wasn't finna get nothing in the hole. Reading and working out, that's it, bro. That was the whole. That was doing real whole time. You feel me? And like bro said, you know what I'm saying? We trading war stories over the tier. You know what I'm saying? Especially if y'all next door to each other and y'all in each other's vent. You feel me? Damu Robin said at King Grover, yes sir, I'm out the IE High Desert Barstow, homie. My hood is Neighborhood Drive Crip. Yeah, that's the homie right there, King Grover. King Grover said, yeah, the name. Yeah. I knew that's what got you. But nah, that's the homie right there, bro. I've been on many yards with that guy, man. He's a real one too, a trooper. He's a real trooper. Straight facts. It's facts. You know what I'm saying? I've been on some real lines with him. He's a real trooper. I was on the line with him and his little brother with Lil Channel. You feel me? But let me get back to the young Southsider, right? Now, like I said, he had that kite in his pocket. The police grabbed the kite, read it. Wasn't that night, but it was definitely that next morning when they ran up on all the blacks that he told on, right? Smack everybody. Bam. Luckily, I was good. You know what I'm saying? So bam. But everybody basically knew to get ready, that they was coming because, you know what I'm saying? Dude had did that. Bam. So bam. Now after that, I ended up going to the hole. So while I'm in the hole, now mind you, it was a gang of people that was in my building that was getting smacked back to back because of the snitching and shit, right? So a gang of us that was in my building that ended up in the hole. It was a gang of us back there, right? Including essays and all, Southsiders, all that. So while we back there, they got you in the dog cages and shit. So it was a couple of Southsiders that was in my building that I knew. So they telling me, they like, hey man, you a cold motherfucker, right? Because everybody know what everybody is back there for. All the actors, including the Southsiders, us. If you active, we fuck with each other. But if you a PC, no action, no discussion, no nothing. We don't deal with you at all, period, on no level. So bam. But all the actors, we fuck with each other. So bam, we back there talking. I'm talking to a couple of essays I knew. They like, yeah, you a cold motherfucker. I'm like, why you say that? They was like, because that whole time, while you was pushing the line on the phone time, we was under the assumption that you didn't have a phone. I was like, oh yeah. It was like, yeah. They like that shit you did work because he said, what our thing is this. We try to find out everything that's going on in that environment, no matter who is with. We try to find out who's selling all the dope. We try to find out who's selling the phones. We try to find out who got a phone. We try to find out who's selling dope. We try to find out everything, right? So we would know. This is what the Southsiders was telling me. So I'm like, oh, so I said, okay. He like, that's why you always see motherfuckers that'll just pop up and be asking, is you all right? But motherfuckers really be documenting information down and shit, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So bam, that's what always let me know, like, that I was moving right, because I already suspected that anyway. You know what I'm saying? And again, it wasn't just with them. This is with everybody. This is with every, see, people be like, why you got that curtain up right there behind you? For those that don't know, I am in prison. I'm on a level 4 general population mainline yard, right? For the people that's new here, shout out to all the people that's new here at the round table. Make sure you subscribe, become an official family member here at this round table. It won't cost you nothing to subscribe. You're just helping us get further into the algorithm, and as we grow, you grow with us. You go on this full journey with us. You feel me? So subscribe, people. But anyway, yeah, man. So they telling me all this shit, right? So I'm already got people, everybody like suspect. So, and again, like I told y'all, like when me and the homie Taco from 190 East Coast Baselli's, it was just a number of strategies and things that me and him used to practice. And before we actually like start dibbing and dabbing in the other business that we was doing, when we started grinding, we was practicing everything before we actually started jumping out there, right? Everything from A to Z. I bullshit you not. I bullshit you not, right? Now, of course, like I can shoot criticism as other people, can shoot criticism at, you know, whoever was in that environment doing what they was doing, right? However, you know, with this situation with the young Southsider, right? By him, well, really, by me pushing the line that I was pushing to secure my own safety, right? As far as not getting told on, I had to, enforce the same shit on everybody. I had to have everybody thinking that I didn't have phone, I wasn't selling this, I wasn't selling that, I wasn't doing this, I wasn't doing that, right? So I had to push around, like, including, I wasn't walking around flashy with the brand new Jordan shoes and Jordan socks and Jordan shorts and Jordan shirts and Jordan hats and Jordan glasses with the big link chains and the earrings and all that shit. Man, that's a dead ringer giveaway for the Goon Squad to, hey, I'm selling drugs. I'm a dope dealer. You feel me? Come hit me. No, I wouldn't. Hell no. You feel me? I wasn't dressing and wearing none of that shit. You feel me? I got down like how I got down regularly. You feel me? Went to the yard, worked out every day, played basketball every day. You feel me? And behind the scenes, I did what I did. I was never no flashy type of dude, right? Never. And that was something that me and the homie bro, Taco from 190 East Coast, practice on. You know what I'm saying? And made sure we didn't allow each other to forget, like, hey, you gotta remember, bro. You know what I'm saying? We not trying to get crashed out, so this is where we gotta stay sharp at. You know what I'm saying? This is what we got to stay on. This is, you know what I mean? No reparations, no vote. What up, Brody? Salute. Glad you was able to make the live, man. Tottenham, man. What up, Brody? Salute. Glad you was able to make the live, man. Hey, I know the time difference and all that, bro. Salute to all of y'all that was able to make the live. Welcome to the round table. I love my round table family. Salute to all of y'all, Brody. But, yeah, man, hey. So I just always tried to move below the radar. You feel me? As much as I possibly can, although I still ended up getting told on. You feel me? And I told y'all about that. You know what I'm saying? But Tottenham said 2 a.m. here. Damn. And the girlfriend said I'm weird because I'm always watching prison content at 2 a.m. with the round table. She don't get. Hey man, salute to you, Tottenham, man, and salute to the GF as well. You feel me? Hey man, it's a blessing to have that level of dedication. You feel me? Especially If the girlfriend is calling you weird because you are up watching you at the round table, you know what I'm saying, this late, you know what I mean? But hey, man, that's dedication. That's definitely love. Shout out to you. Shout out to the girlfriend, man. Hey, I'm sorry, girlfriend. I got Tottenham up at 2 a.m., here at the round table. You feel me? We all send our love to you, out here from America to you, girlfriend. We don't want to get Brody in trouble. You feel me? So, again, we send our love to both of y'all out there in London. You feel me? Tottenham said, much love back, man. King Grover said, damn, 2 a.m. Hey, they all over the world, King Grover. You feel me? My boy Wizard is out there in Australia. They what, 19 hours ahead of us in Australia. Shout out to all my extended family out there in Australia as well. My brother Wizard, uh, uh, Vando Mendez, Connor, uh, Big Biff over at the Chaos Chronicles, his girl JJ. You feel me? The whole Chaos crew, man. You feel me? Shout out to the Chaos Chronicles. Tottenham said, she says hi back for sure, man. Salute to you, sis. All love and blessings extended to you. To all of y'all out there. You feel me? But yeah, man, I've seen some crazy things, man, take place. You know what I mean? A lot of those things typically happen with a lot of younger dudes, right? Because some, not all, but some do come through thinking that they're slicker than water, and that thinking that, you know what I'm saying? They gonna, slide on some things, but it never works out that way. King Grover said, hey, bro, did you know it's Keyways in Alaska? LOL, no BS. Is it in Alaska? Hey, my little sister stayed in Alaska, man. I remember when she moved out there, bro. Shout out to my little sister Treese. I love you, sis. You feel me? Shout out to my little nephew Jordan and Paul as well. They faithfully be tapped in. I'll send my love to you as always, sis. But I remember when you moved out there to Alaska, you feel me, during them times, man, and you know, then I started learning more about Alaska, especially about the moose, how serious they take the moose out there. You feel me? But the Crips, I never knew that it was no keyways out there. I never knew that it was all. I just remember it being like a lot of snow, a lot of ice, and a lot of moose. And I remember them not being able to drink out there. I remember it being like a big issue on them being able to drink legally out there in Alaska and all that shit. Like they tripping on drink. King Grover say, I seen them on YouTube. I'm definitely gonna go have to look that up, King Grover. For real, for real. Miss Golden said, if your name starts with AF, yes, I got it. No reparations, no vote, 40 49. No reparations, no vote, said, okay, FJ. Yes, thank you. Miss Golden said, yes, thank you. King Grover said, they crippin' hard too, bro. Yeah? That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I'm gonna go look that up. I swear to God, I'll be interested in that type of stuff, right? Like, damn, y'all way out there. Like, what? You know, I tripped on when the more that I learned about my bro them out there, how they live in Australia, how they got gangs and shit out there. Not no Crips or Bloods or nothing like that, but they do got gangs. And just tripping on the stuff that they used to fight about. My bro Big Biff over at the Chaos Chronicles point that out greatly on his podcast. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that's not familiar with Biff over at the Chaos Chronicles, you know what I'm saying? I learned a whole lot about Australia through Biff. You feel me? Especially when it comes to the gangs and shit. King Groover said it's some videos on YouTube somewhere of them. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check. Jackson Darrell say, yep. Shout out to Jackson Darrell, my brethren, man. Glad you was able to make the live. He said, yep. The West Side, Igloo, Penguin, Gangster Crips. Huh? Oh, come on. Come on, you playing. Come on, bro. Jackson Darrell say, just kidding, LOL. Yeah, bro, I was finna say. Because they would fuck around and have something named like that, too. You feel me? I done heard of some crazy ass gang names, right? Like what the that's real? King Groover said, I forgot what set they claim. I think some neighborhood or Compton's. Oh, damn. Okay. Okay. For sure. King Groover said Melly Mel from Tanner's interviewed a female from Alaska too. Oh yeah? Melly Mel, the hood postman. Shout out to Melly Mel, the hood postman as well, bro. Great content over there as well. Uh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to go check in on some of that stuff. I'll be interested in seeing that stuff, bro. Jackson Darrell say it's a lot of Samoans out there. Yeah, yeah. A lot of them Samoans do be Crips and Bloods too. A lot of Samoans be Crips and Bloods from all over. Jackson Darrell say I lived in Seattle for a minute. Oh yeah, somebody was just suggesting to me the other day that I should come out, that I should move out to Seattle. Seattle seemed like it's a cool spot. Is it a cool spot? Is it because I ain't really heard nothing too bad about it, but is it cool out there, Jackson Darrell? Tottenham said there are a lot of couple of Crips and Bloods gangs in the UK, but not official. So once that was revealed, they looked like a bunch of jokers. But where I live in North London is proper rundown ghetto, plenty of gangs. Oh, that's crazy. Now that's another spot, Tottenham, that I never heard that it was Crips or Bloods at in London. I never heard that before. That's interesting as hell though, because when you think about London, you think about how distinguished it is out there, like how rich the countryside look. You know what I'm saying? You think about all these different historical castles and landscapes and shit, right? You think about all these different historical things about London that always come to mind when I think about it. I don't never think to no ghetto type of shit. You feel me? Jackson Darrell say it's nice, just rains a lot. Yeah, I get that. I get that. It rains a lot in Seattle. Tottenham said because UK gun laws are so strict, they use machetes and swords. They ain't shit to use them too. Oh, damn. Machetes and swords, this shit, they still chopping people up out there? That's crazy. But you do see, when you think about it, you do see a lot of people walking around with them swords and shit out there in the UK. King Groover say, I know some homies was out there in Seattle. Heard it rained a lot there though. I'm good. I can take the rain, King Groover. You feel me? I could take the rain. You feel me? I'm not mad at the rain. The only way the rain becomes a problem to me is if it starts flooding my spot out. That's the only way I'm gonna be like, if I'm cool. If I get a spot out there and it start flooding and shit, oh yeah, I'm cool. I can't stand that. Hope they prepare. Salute. Glad you made the live, Brody. Welcome to the round table. He said Utopia. King Groover said, yeah, Jackson, I heard that. Hustle Right said, nah, too much rain. Oh, you cool on the hustle, right? Uh, yeah, I mean, if it's raining out my spot, then that's the only thing that's gonna turn me off to going to Seattle. I'm not trying to have my spot all rained out and no, that's a headache. That's hell to live in. You feel me? I went through that in the prison cell. Ain't no way I'm trying to get out on the streets and have to go through that and shit. Mm-mm. Tottenham said you're correct, but London is a city of 10 plus million. I know it's big though, Tottenham. I know London is extremely big. Yeah, I know it's big. I know it has its sides. Jackson Darrell say, but the jobs out there are very good. You can square up out there. Oh, in Seattle, Jackson Darrell say the summers in Seattle are live as fuck. Oh yeah, I bet it be popping out there. I bet it do. It seemed like it do, man. A lot of these places you hear about, you just have this image in your head, like you know what I'm saying. Hope they prepared say that utopia comment was when you was saying when we think of London. Oh yeah, yeah. For sure, for sure. Hope they prepared. Yeah, that's pretty much like the image that I always get when I think about London because I haven't seen too many bad parts of it that they've shown that they've exposed. You know what I mean? It's always the distinguished parts. King Grover said, "Is there a lot of racism in London, Tottenham?" Hope they prepared was saying how we think of London. Oh yeah. To that question, King Grover, I've always been under the impression that it was a lot of racism in London. You feel me? And in all honesty, to point out something that I seen in the media, right? Even with um in the castle, right? There was a thing about Megan, being black and the baby being cut with black and certain people in the family not wanting to have nothing to do with it and all this shit, right? So you hear these type of things, right? And yeah, I've heard that a lot of parts of London is racist. However, they do have a large black population in London. I do know that much. They have a large black population in London. That's a great question, though, King Grover. Tottenham said, "No way, we ain't like that here, bro. My wife black, kids mixed. My girlfriend is Indian and Arab mixed, and another is Japanese." Oh yeah, for sure. King Grover said, "I've been watching some UK gangster shows. They get cracking in the UK. They absolutely do. They absolutely do, King Grover. Hey, and to read Tottenham, my bro Tottenham's message again. He said, "No way, we not like that here, bro. My wife black, kids mixed. My girlfriend is Indian and Arab mixed, and another is Japanese." Jackson Darrell say, "When I was in Seattle, I told them that I was from Bounty Hunters. They became starstruck." hey, hey, when you go to different places, right, that isn't really too familiar with the gang stuff like that, however, they may have heard about certain gangs such as the Bounty Hunters. The Bounty Hunters is big as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine these different places where they may have heard about it but not be as familiar with it, but to actually see somebody that's right there from there, for them to be like, oh my God, I'm actually standing next to a real person from the Nickerson Gardens. You know what I'm saying? This is a real live person from a blood, from bounty hunters. Like, I've heard about these guys. I've seen documentaries on them. And I'm standing right here to next to a real live person that's really from there. You do have that. I can see that. Oh, I see a couple of people acting up in the chat. Bore Avlis, little buddy in the back. Would that be another account? I'm not, no, don't take him away, leave him. Leave him. Don't take him away, leave him. Allow him to exist. You feel me? Although we're not gonna, acknowledge him like that. I gave him enough acknowledgement. I'm done with little buddy in the back. We know what you stand on. We know what you stand for. You drop out. Tottenham say we have cellies of any color, and my best friends are all non-white. Oh yeah, they definitely rocking different out there in London. That's great information though, Tottenham. King Groover said that's what I heard, that it wasn't much racism in the UK. It's based on class, not race. Tottenham say I grew up in Uganda, and if I'm honest, I always get told I'm the only white black man they know. That's right, Tottenham. Hey, that's why that's how me and you became as good as we are. You know what I'm saying? As far as showing all the love and all the respect that we've been showing to each other from day one. You know what I'm saying? Because I always got that about you, and it's always been just like top tier respect for you from day one. You know what I mean? Money said, is they tweaking off the deuce in there? What's the deuce? Jackson Darrell say, yep, exactly. King Groover say, Uganda shit. He damn near blacker than us. Big Creep Low, LOL, LOL. Hell yeah. Hey, Uganda, man, come on, bro. That's blacker than black. You feel me? Shit, he actually has more of the more of the homeland in him than we got. You know what I'm saying? To keep it all the way real, he been there. We haven't, King Groover. That's crazy work, but facts, Brody. Facts. Tottenham said facts. That's it, bro. Like a motherfucker, Tottenham. Tottenham say all that racist shit is just a sign of ignorance, a sign of ignorant persons. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is why I didn't understand. It really tripped me out. It bugged me out when they was putting that story out there about, you know, Megan and the baby and all that shit, right? And why Harry really left. You know what I'm saying? That always tripped me out. However, I always knew that it was a large population of blacks in London that's been existing out there. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really hear too much bullshit outside of what was going on in the palace. Tottenham said, I done 18 months in Shimo Latua prison, Kenya, and 4 years in Murchison Bay prison in Kampala, Uganda. Damn. Hey, and when you say you done that time there, Tottenham, right? You know what comes to my mind? What comes to my mind when you say you done time in those prisons is the book that I read by Nelson Mandela. It was an autobiography by Nelson Mandela that he wrote while he was locked up, right? And doing the things that he was going through. I'm talking about everything that they was put through, including all the stuff that his wife was doing and going through and all that shit, right? All the way up until he was released. You know, this was a book that he wrote, and I think about those conditions that they was living up under that he described in the book. Like that's some wild shit, bro. And if y'all prisons is really as I could imagine them to be, shit, that's crazy. Tottenham said you came out without a scratch. Oh, he said I came out without a scratch. That's right, bro. King Groover said if blacks and whites were really different people, they wouldn't be able to procreate with one another. A dog can't be bred to a frog. That's true. That is absolutely true. That's just a cat can't get a dog pregnant, or vice versa. Royal family or races, they son. Oh yeah, true facts, Tottenham. Hope they prepared said join us sometimes on the live panel. Creek, that'd be dope if you could try to bring you so all for one, one for all. Hope they prepared. I would definitely make my best effort, bro, to try to make it to y'all panel one day. You feel me? I definitely would do that one day, bro. Shout out to you and shout out to y'all whole podcast as well. It's always to be honored to be invited somewhere, right? Especially a setting that is inviting and not setting you up just to, because I've had that too, right? Where I was invited somewhere and then got attacked when I got there, right? So that's something that sit out in my mind. You know what I'm saying? When I am invited somewhere. However, I do know the people that I can, come and sit and have real, true, civilized, conversations, and trade war stories with as well. You feel me? I'm always open to do that with real ones. Hope they prepared said commencing a study group, law group, etc. to make or move coast to coast, state to state, city to city, even overseas. Jackson Darrell say Winnie Mandela was a rider for real. No compromising with her. Yeah, Jackson Darrell, but you know what? I don't want to. She's resting in peace now, right? She's unalive now, right? But uh, not to talk bad or ill upon her, the deceased, or her legacy, or none of that, because I don't take nothing away from um, the things that can be respected about Winnie Mandela, right? However, there is something that I can't appreciate about Winnie Mandela, and that's the obvious of what was put out there on her while Nelson Mandela was doing his time, that she was abusing her powers to force different soldiers to commit sexual acts upon her, right? In which I believe she was convicted of something of that nature or accused. You feel me? But that's what I can't appreciate about her, bringing great shame upon what they was able to accomplish through them hard times and struggle that they both went through. You know what I'm saying? And sacrificed for. So there is things that I absolutely can respect about Winnie Mandela, and then there's the thing that I definitely can't respect. Respectfully. You You feel me? And that was one of the things that Nelson Mandela had put in his book, that, that situation that was going on with her. You know what I'm saying? How they was going on, they was able to get time to spend time together as husband and wife. After a certain amount of time had went by, and even getting that done was a hassle. And then she started doing what she was doing. Hope they prepare, say still start sharp and steel. Absolutely. King Groover said, yeah, creep homie, start doing interviews and set your fee. Your story is one that many want to hear, G. Cam Capone and a few of the black interviewers. Cam Capone pay. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. For sure, for sure, King Groover. Yeah, man, I'm definitely just, trying to keep myself established. You know what I mean? As far as, being an original standout. Although what I do is done by, definitely guys that have way bigger and greater platforms, such as 16 to Life. Shout out to my brother, Damian Porter. Shout out to my brother. You know what I'm saying? Hoover Gumby, Young Trigger Bird. These guys, Odium Slim, Damu Keepway Conversation, Deuce M's, and Yael. You feel me? It's a number of guys that have great platforms that does basically the same stuff that I do, or in relation to the things that I do as far as the gang culture go. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't do prison content, of course, but to the ones that do, like 16 to Life and Damian Porter, right? And Big Biff over at the Chaos Chronicles. You know what I'm saying? These guys have way bigger platforms. They do great content, great work. So for me to be able to come and contribute, you know, under that same umbrella, it's a blessing, to even be named amongst any of these guys. You feel me? Because it just goes to show that the push and everything that I've been standing on, it's been genuine. When it's genuine and people know that it's genuine, it makes it a million times more easier for people to gravitate to something that they know that is real. You know what I'm saying? And that your foundation is actually built on it's structured on solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? Nothing theorized, made up, fake, phony, none of that shit. Everything is solid. Not drama driven, not hatred driven, none of that shit. And we work in the direction of positivity, of bringing these stories to life to y'all. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can see and envision this shit as I talk. Y'all listening. You may be doing what you're doing, but you listening. You smoking what you smoking, drinking what you drinking, but you listening. You taking it in. It's hitting home to somebody, thankfully. You feel me? But at the same time, if all this stuff being taken in, it's being taken in, and you're not being led astray. You're not being led astray because there's people here that is in my chat that was in prison with me. People that I have ties to that's out now, that was in prison with me on these prison yards, doing some of the hardest of times. When gangbanging was really still gangbanging, and not to glamorize that shit, but when the gang members really considered themselves to be that and stood on the foundations of everything that made you a gang member, a gangbanger, that's when it was hard. That's when everybody wasn't invited. Everybody wasn't included. You really had to prove yourself to be part of that specific culture club. And that's with all, not just one, that's with all from what I see and gather. Or you just wasn't going to be a part of it. Or you would just naturally just be a pawn on the chessboard. You feel me? King Groover said, get this money off YouTube, creep, homie. There's millions on this BI. Hey, you absolutely right, and that's what we heading for, King Grover. I'm telling you, Brody. You feel me? And the cold thing about it, the people that question the I mean, they can't question, the legitimacy of our foundation, what we push, what we stand on, and all that, right? That can't be questioned at all because we stand on truth, honor, you know what I'm saying? Respect, all that, right? Of any and everybody, you know what I'm saying? But we also come to educate and be educated the correct way. Nothing watered down. You know what I'm saying? Not putting no extras on it, not coming screaming and yelling into the camera. You know what I'm saying? Over dramatizing shit. Nah, none of that. We ain't got to do none of that. Just be our natural selves. Straight up. And hopefully we gain a profit off of it. And any profits that we gain is going right back into the show. We building off of this shit. And whatever we gain is going right back into the show. It does nothing but help us get greater and better where it's needed at. Straight up. No reparations, no votes. Said damn money like that train. Yeah, bro. No reparations, no vote. She was cold with it, bro. And again, I believe she's resting in peace, right? So not to speak ill of the deceased or nothing like that, but she was cold in her years here on Earth. The more power that she gained, the crazier her fetish got, to have a young man up under her or on top of her. Jackson Darrell say never heard that, but the way she dealt with sellouts was commendable. Yeah, bro. Hey, just go look it up. Go look it up. It's out there. That ain't nothing that I'm putting on her. You know what I'm saying? This is something that was actually in Mandela's book. You know what I mean? What he was going through and dealing with her, and it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? King Grover said a blogger said how much he makes off YouTube a month. I damn near started a channel on West Side Hoover. hey, hey, I can imagine you can make a nice lump sum off of YouTube, right? With consistency. I see a lot of dudes that like my bro Damian Porter, right? Active as fuck on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine, not to get in his business and nothing like that on what he make financially, but I can only imagine what it is with the constant video drops. You feel me? So if you are occupying the YouTube space in that fashion with constant drops and that's constant views, all those views equal a nice lump sum eventually. You feel me? So if you're constantly present, you feel me? And your channel is monetized. Yeah, you can make a nice living, especially if you dropping. That's why I'm trying to hurry up and get the other channel. You feel me? Uh, uh, to the point where we can start doing lives, man. Press Play TV Uncut. Go over there and subscribe to that channel, my people, if you haven't already did it, man. So we can start doing lives over there. We need a couple of more subscribers over at Press Play TV Uncut. That's our other channel, man, that we trying to get popping. King Grover said, don't F with PC Jumper, though. Absolutely not. You already know that's a big old no, King Grover. He said, or Vlad, absolutely not. That's out. That's a big old absolutely not. Never, ever. In this lifetime, the next, or the next one after that. Never. King Grover said, yeah, I fuck with 16 to Life, Lil China Man, and others. But I'm talking about you get this money, Grove. Hey, yeah. Hey, 16 to Life, my bro China, you feel me? And others, I definitely am a loyal subscriber to those guys. You know what I'm saying? For obvious reasons. Those are people that I know in real life. Very thankful for. Great guys. You know what I'm saying? Who was blessed enough to get their freedom back out. And, is doing great for themselves, and especially have very wonderful, great established YouTube channels. If y'all haven't subscribed to 16 to Life, please go over to Bro's channel and subscribe to 16 to Life. That's my bro Chill. Shout out to him. Go over to Damian Porter as well, the inside story at Damian Porter, DAMIONPORTER, the inside story, man, and as well as the Unwoke Culture with Damian Porter as well, man, the big fella. Subscribe to both of those guys' channels, man. You feel me? They've been nothing but great to me. You feel me? It's a blessing, to know these guys. Met them in unfortunate circumstances, of course. However, since then they've been able to gain their freedom back, get back out there to their real life, pick up the pieces to their life, and has, went on to establish great things for themselves. So salute to everybody that has been through this struggle, this prison struggle, that has been able to get through it and put it behind them. One day, hopefully that day comes sooner rather than later. You feel me? I will meet that same fate of gathering my freedom back and being out there on the other side of this camera where I can really exploit greatness. Be great and exploit greatness. You feel me? And exploit all of y'all to the greatness as well. And y'all coming on that journey, so y'all gonna be just as great as me and Miss Golden and all the whole rest of the Roundtable family, man. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Swang Glow Podcast Show if you haven't already did it, man. Please. I would definitely appreciate that. Jackson Darrell saying, got some subscribers without even trying. King Groover say, I'm talking about YouTube bloggers with many subscribers, hundreds of thousands. Hoover. Oh, yeah, for sure. Get the money, creep low. For sure, Brody. Jackson Darrell say, get it popping, Grove. For sure, he should. He said, that's what YouTube is about. I'm just keeping it real. He said, make sure all your shit monetized. Your content is good, bro. Yeah, for sure. We on that right now as we speak. King Grover say, this is the only channel where I regularly tune into, like, daily. Oh, yeah, for sure, Brody. You bro. You know what I'm saying? You bro, man. And you been here from shit forever. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we get down over here, man, at this round table. You feel me? Like, you don't just come and sit in for a day or two or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? We lifers over here. You know what I'm saying? And when I mean by lifers, we are lifetime family members from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that has come to this round table and become part of this family, I got true, genuine love for and respect, because these people have the greatest minds that I have been blessed enough to have, at this round table, in my circle. You feel me? Straight up. Blessing. Jackson Darrell say, I'm out, Creek. You are solid as a do-rock. Peace and blessings, black man. Peace and blessings to you as well, my brethren. Much love and respect to you as always. Take care. Stay safe out there, my brody. I appreciate you. All Smile said $18 for every thousand views. Now, why would we ever pay for views? Let me give anybody advice on people that want to pay for views and people that want to pay for subscribers and all that shit, right? That messes your channel up. I advise you not to do it. If you are a new content creator and you're thinking about getting into the content creator space, do not pay for none of that shit. Don't pay for no subscribers. Don't pay for no views. Don't pay for none of that shit. You feel me? Because it will mess your channel up. You feel me? And they would be able to snatch it. You feel me? So just shit. Work hard like we did. I remember when I first started this channel, you know what I'm saying? I actually had started this channel because I was going on different people's shows, like when they have a live and be interacting like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's all this channel was, and it was probably at that time like 20 something people that was subscribed to this channel. And then when I decided to do the podcast and you know what I'm saying, starting putting videos up and all that shit, right? I just kept asking, please subscribe, and I'm just posting more and more videos. And as the videos got posted, and the more people, more I asked and begged people to subscribe to the show and kept posting, the more people subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I posted a whole bunch of short clip videos as well. So that's what got me to where I'm at now. Consistency in posting and just showing up for work like I do, and just staying on on code. You know what I'm saying? As far as just keeping it real and just being authentic, being myself, and not putting no extras on anything. You feel me? People are either gonna gravitate to it or not want to have nothing to do with it, and either or is fine. We stand on what we stand on here. Period. Latte Love Forever said hi. Salute to you, Latte Love Forever. Glad you was able to make the live. Much love and respect to you. Welcome to the round table. Salute, salute, salute. You feel me? But yeah, man. But yeah, I wanted to bring that story to y'all about the young Southsider, right? Because I always tell stories about Crips and Bloods and all this shit, right? But I wanted to bring that one to y'all because shit happened in prison. Things happen with everybody. It ain't just the Southsiders. It ain't just the Crips, the Bloods, the Whites, others. It's everybody. You know what I'm saying? And there's stories that involve a little bit of everybody. You know what I'm saying? I just remember that day when the young Southsider, like right before he ended up doing what he did, and me standing there looking him in his eyes and seeing his lips shaking and the fear in his eyes and on his face, and you know what I'm saying? Looking like a trapped little reindeer, like a trapped little Bambi. You know what I'm saying? But the fear of God in his face, in his eyes, right? And was incapable of doing whatever, right? Seeing that, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, this fool might try to do a PC move. I'm gonna have to do something to him. And if I have to do something to him, to the people that's on the outside looking in, it's gonna look like it's a black that's attacking, that's stabbing a Hispanic. And to the people that's on the outside looking in, they not knowing this dude is trying to do a PC move, but everybody is coming to assist their man. Whether it's the blacks assisting me, whether it's the Hispanics assisting him. All the people that's on the outside looking in know is all they see that's on the outside looking in is a black stabbing the hell out of Hispanic, not knowing though that this dude was trying to do a PC move because he did something foul that he wasn't supposed to do. He violated. So after this war spark off, you know what I'm saying? This is a possibility. This is what I'm saying. This is a theoretical possibility of how it could have played out. So after that war pop off, eventually it's gonna come out that that was a PC move that he did, and this is what sparked it. Because you got the Raban all the way back to when the shot caller told me to tell this guy to come. You know what I'm saying? And he said F this and F that and went and locked up in his cell. You feel me? So that's where it all started from. That's where it stemmed from. But really it stemmed a little bit further back than that when I told the shot caller that I'm a charge. If I take this from point A to point B, I'm a charge. It really started there. Because that enforced them even more to have one of their homeboys out that applied all that pressure to me. It wasn't, no, I did this shit all day, every day. But it was more important for me to keep my covered up on what I was doing than anything. So I didn't give a fuck about nothing else. And I stood on what I stood on. That got me as much longevity as I needed while I was doing what I was doing until eventually it always catches up to you. Somebody is going to slip somewhere down the line. You feel me? Either you're gonna get told on by something you're doing, or by something somebody see you doing. That's how it happened in prison. That's a fact. Kalia Gang 4466 said 333. Well, salute to you, Kalia Gang. Glad you was able to make the live. Shout out to you. Welcome to the round table. But yeah, man, that's the nature of prison, though, man. That's why I encourage y'all, when I bring these stories to y'all and I tell y'all about these different. This is more so not to paint anybody in the bad light or put anybody in the bad light or anything. Like I said, shout out to all my Southside brethren. You know what I'm saying? The real ones that's holding it down, right? This is a story to show that anybody can do this. This type of situation can happen with anybody, right? But hold on, y'all. But yeah, I'm still here. This situation can happen with anybody, right? And this happened with him. So I'm telling this story to y'all, man. If y'all thinking about anybody, thinking about doing something crazy that's gonna jeopardize your freedom, you know what I'm saying? You're not in the gang. You're thinking about joining one. This is part of that reality. All right, trouble. This is part of that reality. And when I say this, I mean prison, of course. This right here, right? This is part of that reality when you become part of that lifestyle, when you become part of that life that we're trying to keep any of y'all that's out there. You got your freedom, cherish that shit. This is a person that's been in prison almost 32 years straight that's telling you to cherish your freedom. You feel me? You might be in a position right now where shit is hard. It might be hard right now, but it ain't gonna be hard forever. You feel me? But it don't get no harder than this, other than death. This right here, this existence right here, being in a prison cell on a level 4 general population mainline yard, trading your freedom for this shit, that's what don't make no sense to me at all. And I'm saying that now as an elder, because when I was young, I paid no attention to what I should have been paying attention to, and giving more respect to, cherishing more. But when it's taken from you, that's when the realization of everything starts setting in on you. Like, damn, I should have valued this more. I should have respected this more. I should have cherished this more. Tottenham say he spent 6 weeks in an induced coma until he came round. I was pending charge for attempted murder. They said I tried to kill him. If he died, I was in shit. But I had a single cell for them 5 weeks. Damn, that's crazy. That's my bro Tottenham. He's saying about a situation that he got in out there in London. He said he spent 6 weeks, the person in an induced coma, until he came round. I was pending charge for attempted murder. So he was pending the attempted murder until this person came out this coma. They said I tried to kill him. If he died, I was in shit. He said, but I had a single cell for them 5 weeks. That's crazy. See, everybody got a story, man. And this is the guy that's way out in London. Everybody got a story in relation to this existence that I'm still in right now. Thankfully, a lot of these guys is out and free. You feel me? And, that's why I always say we are all here for the same common purpose. We not here by chance. Not at all. Y'all think we here by chance? Y'all think y'all came to sit at this round table by chance and We made the connections that we've made by chance? Absolutely not. Get that thought right out your head. Absolutely not. This is God's work. Whether you believe in whatever God you believe in, it's His work, right? We just the messengers. We just the spirits, you feel me, that He bonded together for His reasons. His reasons that He seen as being greater than anything that anybody can ever come in this chat and try to disrupt. All the evil people, they can do whatever. They can make as many videos, you know what I'm saying, speaking down against us or any of that stuff, right? However, we will not be stopped or persuaded to stop or thrown off a track of righteousness, especially when we living in it every day. This is part of our history. This is part of our existence, although ugly. Sometimes history is ugly. Sometimes that history does come with ugliness. Everything that has historical values attached to it comes with its version of ugliness. You feel me? And that's real. Don't be fooled to think anything otherwise. See, this round table is where we stand on everything we bring to this round table, including the things that we come to educate each other about and be educated on. Everybody got a voice here. So if I'm wrong about something, best believe one of my round table family gonna be like, brother, look, no. Let me correct you on that. This is what this, and bam, hey, I'm standing there, hey man, I'm a student as well. Thank you, bro, for the correction. Salute. I needed to know that. Thank you. You feel me? We don't come to put each other down. We don't come to make fun of each other because we may lack knowledge about something. Hell no. Nah. Y'all can go to other channels and get that shit if that's what you're looking for. You're not gonna get that here. No, we come to build. We come to build each other up. We come to educate and be educated. We come to present truth and stand on it. Period. Nothing less than that. I would never encourage anything less than the truth on this channel. Ever. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing nothing for views. We're not doing nothing for subscribers other than being our authentic self. You know what I'm saying? Presenting the truth, standing on the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, hey, I don't see a lot of people that's on a level 4 general population yard, right? Not many. I see a couple, but not many. That has the fortune of being able to do YouTube, right? But what sets me apart from a whole bunch of everybody else is I've been in prison for as long as I have, right? And I'm staying in the direction that I'm in as far as moving in a positive direction. You know what I'm saying? Trying to connect bridges, build bridges and connect bridges. You feel me? You know, allow people to have true voices that bring value, something of substance. You know what I mean? Great creative minds, people with pure hearts that don't have no hidden agendas. You're not driven by anger. We just need understanding. We need to figure some shit out. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it takes a group to be able to figure some shit out. Or we just dumb and running around lost. Who want that? Don't no grown man or woman want to be running around lost, not knowing, lacking knowledge about the things that they need to know as grown men and women. Facts. Tottenham say all these haters who are so sad to be beefing with a man in prison who is doing only positive is not someone you should be mad at. You should feel sorry for his sad life and how he spends his time. Absolutely, bro. Very well said. You feel me? But yet and still you do have those miserable souls that can't help but allow that miserableness to ooze up out of them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. They can't help it. They can't help it. No matter what, they just cannot help the ugliness. And in all honesty, that's like a true testament of the household that these people was brought up in, right? And then exiting out of that household and entering in a cesspool that allows them no growth, no understanding of life, of self, of nothing. And they stay stuck in the same position of idiocy. You feel me? Even going into older age as pure idiots. And that's sad. You have to pity fools when you see them, especially if they are of age and it's idiots. Tottenham say they sad, sick, and need help. Not they type of person you would you would lie near kids. And vulnerables. Vulnerable people. Mass killers start somewhere too. Hey man, I consider myself to be a very good studier of people, right, in the physical. Like if we in the same room or the same environment or vicinity, right, I'm surveying everything and everybody in that room. I want to know where all the exits is at. I want to know who is where, why they are positioned where they are positioned at. You know what I'm saying? I want to know everything. So just by chance, if something pop off, you know what I'm saying? Like I know what to do when I need to do it. You feel me? In my mind, the way I've been trained, it's all about surviving a moment. When a moment can be deadly. A moment can be deadly. That's one thing that prison can teach you. One moment, everything is normal. The next moment, you fighting for your life. You feel me? That's a reality of prison. So you train yourself a certain way. So I any room I go in, I'm surveying to a T. I'm studying every man. I'm the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, your mannerisms. I'm studying everything about you. Everything. Tottenham said, facts, prison teaches this fast and without you knowing you're being taught. You just yeah, that's real. You don't, I remember when I first came into prison, right? The older dude saying to me that it will get to the point. It was like, you're gonna be around so long around here where it's gonna get to the point where you gonna know when something is going down on the yard without anybody telling you. It's a feeling you get from your awareness of from you training yourself to be aware of everything that's going on the yard, how it move, how the yard shift, and how the energy is. You feel me? You study this shit. So if by chance you step out there and anything is out of place, the energy is off, the energy ain't right, you know what I'm saying? Then you know something is finna go down. So you learn to hunker down where you at and survey everything. So once it pop off, bam, you immediately on your man. You on whatever you supposed to be on. You feel me? It's the same thing. Like, you know, I don't know. You train yourself for that. Tottenham said using these things without even thinking about it. Yeah, it just becomes second nature to you. You feel me? I do it and don't even realize I've done it until afterwards. Because afterwards, I'm calculating everything that I was able to take in that moment of my encounter with whoever I was encounter, if I, especially if I'm just meeting you, right? If I'm just meeting you, like I'm taking in everything, your mannerisms, everything. Like I'm trying to see if this is a legit person. If I can, how I can deal with this person, right? It's really you just studying your man. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a great studier of another human being in prison. You know what I mean? You have to. Body language, all that. You feel me? Like, I don't know, man. Tottenham say IQ. Yeah, man. But yeah, I don't advise none of y'all, man, to trade y'all freedom for prison, though. You know what I mean? Because, again, you trading your freedom, you trading your life for a whole different life. And you have to learn to live in that new life that you are thrust in. And that new life that you're going to be thrust in by going to prison, especially, let's just say you don't come to prison for no little gun case and you catch something serious, and your prison time is going to start you on a level 4 general population yard, because it happens like that depending on the severity of the case that you are charged with, right? Is going to determine if you go to a level 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you're a gang member, it goes off the point system. If you're a gang member, you're getting points for that. The severity of your case, like if you in prison for a shooting, a homicide, or a serious robbery or something like that, right? Or anything gang related, you getting points for that. They starting you off on a level 4 general population. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a 180 if you gang banging, right? 180 level 4 design prison yard, right? So bam. A lot of young dudes that catch a lot of that time. That's where y'all gonna go. You're not going to, not unless you just PC up off the top. Other than that, you going to a level 4 if you come with some serious time. You come for a body or any of that shit, you start on a level 4. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna start on a 180 maximum security level 4 general population prison yard. That's where you're gonna start your time. And that's where reality is gonna kick in for you, as far as what life was for you out there on the street in the county jail, and how life is finna change for you, and you are on the inside in the prison, night and day. From your freedom on the street, night and day. From when you was in the county jail, night and day. Which is, in all reality, once these dudes hit these level 4s and they see what's what, a lot of them can't hack it. A lot of them don't last a year and PC up. And it ain't because they got pressure being applied to them. Let's stop that lie. In a whole bunch of cases, there's no pressure being applied to them. It's just the nature of the environment that they in. If you step out to the yard on your very first yard and you see somebody get hacked up, that messes your mind up, man. You feel me? Or you see somebody get shot with that Mini 14, that messes your mind up, man. And dudes, oh no, hell no. This is what's happening on these, hell no. You see somebody getting their eyeball stabbed out their head, that's not normal. You see somebody getting their teeth stabbed out their mouth, I've seen all that. Stepped all in another dead man's blood, I've done that. You feel me? So again, the realities of that level 4, hit home for a lot of dudes once they get there, man, and they don't last on that level 4 yard month before they PC up. Or they get there and they take some bad habits with them, and they think they slicker than slick, and bam, reality check. You feel me? Tottenham say they give stupid, unhuman, and long sentences in the U.S. You would have spent even 10 years in UK prison for two unalivings. If it's criminals, you off. You get even less. Damn. That's crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, man, America, man, was messed up, in my humble opinion, about America is this. Right? They consider me part of a street criminal gang. Right? Okay. The police force is also a gang. It's not a street criminal gang. It's a legalized gang where they can carry guns, where they can shoot people, where they can unalive people, right? And not spend a day in jail. Call it self-defense or the shooting was good or whatever, right? But me, I get accused of unaliving the two, and here I sit almost 32 years in prison for it. Police knock down people all day, every day. Not one day in jail behind it. And they're a gang. You feel me? So yeah, the laws in America is messed up, man. Always have been, always will be. America is too occupied with trying to impress the other countries and shit. You know what I'm saying? By trying to establish the harshest jail penalties that they can upon people, and more so than anywhere in the world. Tottenham say I met people in prison who got life, came out and got second life, and came out and is back again. Hey, yeah, I've seen that too. Unfortunately, sad for them. Tottenham say facts. They the biggest and deadliest gang of all. They kill so many and is known amongst them. Exactly. Exactly. Tottenham. Facts. Won't lose. What's up, Brody? Salute. Glad you was able to make the live. I'm finna get ready to get up out of here, man. I've held y'all up long enough. He said, what up, bro? I've held y'all up long enough, though. I appreciate all my roundtable family for tapping in. It's always a pleasure to be able to come to this roundtable, deliver these stories to y'all, hopefully inspiring somebody to not trade off their freedom for an opportunity of living a life of incarceration inside of a prison cell such as this one that I'm in right now. Hopefully we've taught some people some things. I've definitely been taught. I'm definitely finna go look up the Crips in Alaska, like my bro King Grover told me about. I'm definitely gonna go look up the gangs in London as well. Do my own little research on these interesting things. I love to be educated about stuff. It's always a pleasure to be able to come to this roundtable and get educated about something, and as well as bring what I bring to my roundtable family as well. Tottenham, much love and respect to you as well, my brethren. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. Salute to your girlfriend. I hope y'all have a great night's sleep. Glad you was able to make the live, Brody. Much love, much respect. As well as to my roundtable family. You feel me? Won't lose said, East Coast 190s. I absolutely do. I was just talking about my bro Taco from 190 East Coast, man. Shout out to Big Frog. You know what I'm saying? From 190 East Coast. Big Loco, 190 East Coast. Cornbread, 190 East Coast. Man, there's so many, bro. There's so many. You feel me? Salute to all these coasts though as well. All of them. But yeah, I'm finna let y'all go, man. Won't lose say, wow, hitters. Absolutely. That ain't all. That ain't all. That ain't all I know from 190, man. You feel me? Trust me. I know a whole bunch of reputables from 190. You feel me? Salute to all of y'all though. One little salute to you. Glad you was able to make the live, Brody. But yeah, I'm finna get up out of here, man. I love and appreciate you all. Y'all take care. Y'all stay safe out there. Let the people that's in your life know you love and appreciate them while you can, because tomorrow's promised to nobody. So let's take the opportunity to take advantage of time while we got the time to do it. You feel me? For real, for real. I can't preach that enough. Shout out to my little brother Donza Max. I see you in the chat, Brody. Finna get up out of here. One Lil said one love to you, Brody. But much love to all my roundtable family. I want to see y'all back here in one piece, man. You feel me? Next time we meet up. Y'all take care. Y'all stay safe out there. Again, I love all y'all. Triple gang.